Alright everyone, I wanted to start this video off with saying I'm so sorry this is late. I got some surgery a week or two ago, and it pushed back because I was in bed literally the whole time, so it pushed back all my schedule a little bit there, and I couldn't really make content for a little while. So I appreciate you guys waiting out for me, but here's the video finally. I know it was very delayed, but here's my final take on the Ilysia Alpha. Just so you guys are aware, I will also be doing I'm also working on a podcast episode with a new special guest, so that you guys can check that out in a week or two. But let's get started with this video. Let's get right into it. I want to preface this. Also, I want to start this by talking about Ilysia, right? And basically what I did is I went around and talked to a few community members, the ones that I could get. I messaged like 9 or 10, and I got like 5 answers, right? But I messaged some people and asked for their opinions on it. I'm gonna take my opinion. I'm gonna take their opinion, and we're going to talk a little bit about the Ilysia Alpha and how people felt about it and the general feel of the Ilysia Alpha and how it went, because that's really important, how the players feel. That's going to affect funding, that's going to affect player base, it's going to affect advertising. Number of players and how they feel and their attitudes are going to affect a lot of things. So, I want to start, before I talk about it, I want to say I did not get to play personally the last patch of the Alpha. So any opinions I give for myself personally may not be subject to perfect gameplay, because I had no internet for the last few days of the alpha when they updated it to the last patch. I did not get to play the most solid version. I do have investments in the Kickstarter. I don't know if I've made that clear enough. That's on me. That's my bad. But I do want to make it clear that I do have $300 invested in this game. I do have personal interest in it to some extent, but I do try my best to be neutral for you guys. I just want to provide news on what's going on for the game for you guys. I want to give solid opinions. I want to let you know if the game's doing well, doing badly, any of that stuff, and give you all the news you're interested in for Ilysia. I also interact with the devs and community very consistently, but at the end of the day, I do have some biases. Please be aware of that. I will try my best to be neutral at the end of the day. Also, Ilysia just announced recently on their Discord, and I will throw an overlay on this up, that they actually got some large private investments, or a private investment, I don't know for sure how many, but that's a pretty big deal. They also hired a few new people, which is a pretty big deal, so that means they have more hands on deck, and things are going to change off of that. They've said they're hopefully going to be more productive because of this and have more time to work on it. But let's talk about the Ilysia Alpha. Across the board, talking to people, and I'm going to go into more depth, but I want to give a general summary right now. Across the board, talking to people, one of the largest opinions I heard was it went a very good direction, but the alpha itself was disappointing. And that was because some parts just felt really sloppy. The melee combat, the accuracy really needed some work. It felt a little weird. The archery did not work super well. You kind of had to pull into your own body like this to get it to work, which is not fantastic. And a lot of the core stuff wasn't there. The game was kind of buggy, but it proved that the game, it can work both client and server side. It proved that mechanics are viable and that they have a base to go off of. But they're definitely behind what a lot of players expected, and people aren't sure if that's going to be good, right? But a lot of the feedback, like I said, felt very promising. A lot of people loved that it felt very grindy, because that's the type of game that people are hoping for out of Ilysia. That's what a lot of people want. We're seeing a huge demand in the market. I've talked about this a little bit in my other videos. If you want to go check those out, where I talk about that a little bit. I'm probably going to make a whole video on why people like a grindy MMO, I guess. But if people want that, let me know in the comments if you want that. I'd be happy to hear. But the world feels beautiful was, I think, the biggest piece of feedback that I heard from people, and I can completely agree with that. There's just always something to look at in the world. It's very well hand designed for players to look at. No matter where you are, there's something pretty to look at and something, I guess, cool to look at. And it feels very well done, and the handcrafting of the world is fantastic. That they pay attention to every little detail, and there were beautiful waterfalls, and the music was fantastic. I believe Justin Zorbas did the music. He does fantastic music. He did a great job crafting the ambiance for each area and everything, which felt really good. Um, One big complaint also was the map system. You could only really find maps at taverns and things. But the main issue with that is they didn't really give you much direction. They kind of just showed you a map. They didn't give you a "you are here" or a direction pointer or a compass. You had a compass personally on a character that you got from a quest, but even then sometimes it was hard to tell where exactly you were on the map and where you should go for your next objective on the map, which made it hard to navigate at times. And yes, it was fun to get lost, but sometimes it can feel frustrating after you've been lost for multiple hours. You walk around in the wild for a little while, you get kind of frustrated with being lost. At first, it's fun, but then it starts to get a little boring, and it would just be better to have more player accessible navigation tools. Obviously, don't give us a mini map or a pop up map, because that's not part of the game, and that's not what Ilysia is designed for, but something that will allow you to navigate easier as a player. Some kind of tutorial to teach you a lot of the mechanics was a complaint I heard from one or two people, just because some of the mechanics weren't very clear and people didn't really understand them at the beginning. Given this is an alpha, so it's not too surprising that there's not a tutorial. Be aware of that. Remember, this is an alpha. This is not the final version of the game. I want to clarify that one more time. But getting lost felt great. Flying, a lot of I heard feedback that flying will feel amazing because in the alpha, right, we were able to walk over mountains and stuff, and it just felt great to just direct point after getting lost for a while and just learning. And once you learned everything, but yeah. So basically, summary up to this point in the video, right? People said that the alpha itself felt very eh. It didn't feel amazing, but the game itself, the direction it's going, a lot of the mechanics it's showing that it wants to have are fantastic, and they're going a good direction, right? You had armor, which was really cool. A lot of people enjoyed the fact that you had to hit enemy flesh, not their armor, in order to deal damage, although a few people said, hey, maybe just have the armor do reduced damage, which makes sense. I think that would be a good idea to just make it so armor, if you hit armor on an enemy, make it do reduced damage rather than just doing no damage. I think that makes a little more sense. But yeah, the main thing that a lot of people loved about Ilysia, which isn't super surprising considering the dev team, is that it was beautifully crafted, great ambiance, great world design, fantastic enemy, like a cool enemy design, stuff like that. And that the artistic side of the game was very well done. However, the mechanics side is a little, right? The mechanics side is struggling a bit, and that's the important part that makes people worried. But it has really good potential, and it could do really well as a game. And something, if the devs watch this, if you guys do watch this, something I've heard from a lot of players, and I personally kind of would agree with, as much as I do appreciate you guys, sometimes we feel a little lost with no devlogs coming out here and there. Maybe just once a week, give us a small devlog that tells us, hey, we're doing this, we're here, we're working on this, this is going on. Just 5 minutes to write up even a small paragraph telling us, hey, this is occurring in the game development, and just so we know what direction it's going, because it does feel like Zenith is beating you out a little bit there, where they're just updating their players every single week or two on what's happening, what's being added. Even if it's just a small thing like ziplining. Last week they put in they advertised ziplining or whatever, and the Zenith Alpha 2 started yesterday. I personally don't have access, so I sadly cannot stream it, but you guys should totally go check it out. Zenith's a cool game just as much as Ilysia, and I'm sure it will do just as well. I'm gonna make another video telling the Zenith Alpha 2 to the best of my ability. Obviously, once again, I'm gonna ask some people who play it their opinions and cover that. I also, like I said, I have a podcast coming out with a special guest in a week or two, so make sure to check that out. Thank you guys so much for watching today. I hope you enjoyed my little talk here about Ilysia. I hope that I informed you in some way, or I told you, or I taught you something. Anything. I hope you got something out of this video. I tried my best to put as much information in here as possible, but Ilysia's future, a little uncertain right now. Hopefully it goes well. Leave your opinions down in the comments. How do you think Ilysia is going to do in the future? What would you like to see in the game? What would you like to see removed, maybe? and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you guys check me out on Twitch if you enjoyed. I stream Tuesday through Thursday, 2:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. PST, and I hope you guys have a freaking-tastic night. This is your boy Ye's peacing out, and I will see you guys in the next video.